Hello. In today's fast-paced manufacturing world, decisions based on guesswork can cost companies thousands of dollars. But with real-time data collection, factories can improve efficiency, reduce waste, and boost productivity. Studies show that data-driven decision making can increase factory floor efficiency by up to 20% and reduce downtime by 30%. But how do we collect this data and how can we use it to make smarter decisions? That's exactly what this video is and this playlist is all about. Why data collection is important in industrial automation. As we uh, talked earlier, data collection helps us track machine performance to identify recurring breakdowns and bottlenecks. It helps us improve quality by monitoring the reject rates, ensures quick action to reduce defects. It also enhances productivity by real-time data monitoring that allows operators to make informed decisions and optimize workflows. And it also supports lean manufacturing. Think about of it in this way. If a machine is running only at 60% of the if the machine is running only 60% of the time due to unplanned stoppages, how much money is being lost? Without data, it's impossible to know the real impact. In this new playlist, we're going to talk about data collection using MySQL and Ignition SCADA. We have broken down this playlist into the first video is going to talk about installation and setting up the MySQL on Windows 11, and then in the subsequent video we'll talk about basic queries for automation engineers, and then we'll try to connect Ignition SCADA to MySQL, and then we'll do a small project where we collect the machine downtime data and reject data from a Rockwell PLC into the MySQL using SCADA as a middleware. Without any delay, let's jump into the first video. So to download MySQL Community Edition, you can just Google MySQL Community Edition. It will come back up to this page. And in this video, we're going to install 8.4.41. I'm using a Windows operating system. So I'll just do the full installer. I'll go ahead and download it. And you could say, no thanks, just start my download. And once the download is completed, we will double click and open it, the file in downloads, and we'll double click it, go ahead and run it. Yes. Execute. Now the installation is complete. We hit next, and we'll go ahead and configure the MySQL. We'll go ahead and do we use development computer, and we make sure the port is 3306. We write down that and we hit next. Since it's a development environment, we'll just use a legacy authentication. That way we don't need to type big passwords. But if it's a production environment, make sure you use a strong password encryption. But for now, I'll use a legacy authentication. And we'll go ahead and create a root password for the MySQL. Go ahead and put my password. And then we'll go ahead and for future, we'll go ahead and add a user called Ignition, because we need to connect Ignition to this one. And then we make that as a DB admin, and we'll give it a password. Say okay. We hit next. We configure, make sure you select the MySQL service as a Windows service. And and start MySQL at system startup. Run as a standard system account. All the options as by default. And hit next. We'll leave it default. Do you want MySQL to update the server file permission? Yes. And then we execute it. Now the MySQL installer will go ahead and we will install the MySQL server and the workbench to manage, and then we will have go to the documentation. I'm looking for the ODBC drivers and the J connectors, but we will let's see, go back and we can do that later. So we'll hit next and go ahead and override the existing paths. Yes. And we execute it. Now the installation is complete. We'll go ahead and hit the product configuration. Go ahead next. We'll keep the development computer, keep everything same. Port is 3306. And we will use the hit next. And we'll start it and use a system account. Just grant full permission as Windows. And hit execute. We install the MySQL now. The configuration is complete. We hit next. And we go ahead and connect to the server using our password. Connection is successful. Hit next. So that completes our installation. So we'll go ahead and start up the MySQL and see how it looks. That's it. We'll go ahead and connect, use the password. And now you could see the server status. We installed it, the MySQL server. The server is running. And in the next videos, we'll go ahead and create some client connections to Ignition and also create a sample database and practice some basic queries on MySQL. Thank you.